I hope all of you are safe and healthy out there. It's high time to start focusing on your optionals and especially answer writing because you have now ample time to work upon your answer writing skills. So, before starting answer writing, we should work upon the ways how we write. So, to improve upon this, we should follow the philosophy in which we say that we should sharpen our axe first, then start cutting the tree. So, following the same philosophy, I'm here to present you seven common mistakes, or you can say seven sins of answer writing in psychology. Out of my experience, what I found during my preparation days, and even now as a copy evaluator or an answer writing expert in psychology, most of the students they kept on gathering knowledge from various books and sources. They don't focus on consolidation and articulation. Some better guided ones, they consolidate it into notes, but they don't focus on answer writing. So, with all my experience, here I compiled seven common fallouts in our answer writing, which I think I should bring to your focus so that you could prevent it by doing more practice and by more articulation. The first one is discounting the demand. The demand means we don't understand the context of the question. We simply write जो हमें आता है. It is not something which is asked by the paper, by the question paper. Usually during our college days, including me and each one of us, हम क्या करते थे कॉलेज में उस पूरे क्वेश्चन में से अगर हमें एक वर्ड भी आता होगा तो यू यूज टू पेन डाउन 4 5 पेजेस अबाउट इट. इवन ऐसा भी होता था कि न्यूमेरिकल आया किसी टॉपिक के रिगार्डिंग. इवन if I'm able to recall that in my college days there was a question and there was a numerical on electromagnetic induction and I was not able to solve it. I simply wrote down the whole theoretical process and theory regarding electromagnetic induction. But my dear friends, UPSC is quite notorious in this aspect. I know a lot of aspirants who got very low marks, even in two digits, especially in optionals because of these blunders. So beware, try to understand the demand. Don't write rubbish. And the main reason behind it is the non holistic coverage of the topics we read. It is a mere passive reading. We keep on reading them, we don't concise them into notes, and we don't write answers of those topics. That's why we are not able to get the core concepts. Let's see some examples of the aspirants who are writing answers with me. The question here is critically evaluate Erickson's stage of psychosocial development. So the here is critical evaluation of Erickson's theory. So here the student simply jot down what he note about the theory. Means it is a mere narration of the theory, not evaluation. मतलब इवेलुएट नहीं किया कि हाँ ये स्टोरी ये स्टेजेस हैं, इसमें ये सब हो रहा है, इसमें डिफरेंट डिफरेंट क्राइसिस हैं, डिफरेंट डिफरेंट वर्च्यूज हैं हर स्टेज पे. फिर बाद में जाके इसने ही डिस्कस्ड सम स्ट्रेंथ सम लिमिटेशन. दिस इज द डिमांड. which has been started on the next page and only half of the page is covered. So you can understand कि कम marks क्यों आते हैं because of these only reasons. Because this whole page is covered in the narration of the theory, and here the addressal of demand has been taken care of, which is more or less a partial approach. So here you get, because the top score you get in a 10 markers might be 7. So out of 7 is the upper limit generally. Here you get only 2, 3, these much marks, and then we repent that we're not getting good marks, good score in psychology. This is the first sin, that is discounting the demand. Moving further, this is the non-comprehension of directives. So सबसे पहले समझते हैं directives क्या होते हैं. So let's see from the previous question. This is the critically evaluate. So critically evaluate is the directive कि एरिक्सन की थ्योरी को critically evaluate करो. And understanding of directives is key to any administrator's life, because we are in a chain of administration. We have to take directions and we have to give directions after being a bureaucrat. So this quality is being tested by these directives. There are various directives like discuss, elucidate, examine, critically evaluate, etc. So please do understand them. There are a lot of videos available online. You have to differentiate between them. The main lacuna in this sin is lackadaisical attitude of aspirants toward these keywords. लिखना तो वही है, चाहे कुछ भी आ जाए हमें तो वही आता है. So this kind of approach will not give you good results. You should not start writing your answer directly. You first read it carefully, understand the directive, and accordingly write down your answer. For example, in this copy, in this answer, the question was regarding Herzberg theory. Critically comment means you have to comment on the relevance of this theory in India also. So here again, this is the explanation. The Herzberg theory is explained, not critically commented. Critically commented means you have to visit its varied aspects and tell its positive and negatives, and then discuss its relevance in Indian scenarios. But here simply the work psychology part or work motivation. This explains the what motivates the worker. The theory points out the hygiene factors, the motivative factors. So you need to discuss these hygiene factors. What are these? Then comment on this. Are these the right proponents or the not? Then motivating factors. Then the motivators. So this should be the approach. But here only it is explained, not critically commented. So that's why a number of things goes haywire when we see our final mark sheets. The next one is ignorance of parts of questions. Yeah, this is very important because we are very hard pressed with time in the final battle, and we just have a mere one or two cursory reading of the questions. And during that time, if we are able to understand the whole question, we are able to write parts. Otherwise, we simply write down the most known part of the question. Here, because nowadays even 10 markers have subparts, so we have to be very careful. And the evaluators write down the proper marks of each part while giving marks. It is not that if you are writing one part at length and other part in only 3 4 lines, you will get good marks. For example, if it is a 10 marker, 5 marks to one part, fives to other. So it is not that you write one part in a good manner and other in a poor manner. You will get only 3 4 marks as per the content and the presentation of the answer. The main reason I already told, there is a hasty reading because time is not there and we are not able to read it or comprehend it carefully. So we have to read between the lines to understand the whole question and their parts. Let's see the example. The question is what we are, it is because of our genes. Discuss. So this question is a direct question for nature versus nurture debate. But the aspirant directly attacks on the nature aspect, gene aspect. Then he write about importance of genes, phenotype, genes set the limit, influence around things, genes push the person. Then he gives some empirical evidence with some twin studies, this, that, adoption studies, family studies, Galton's family genealogy. Okay, it's fine. I say it's fine that student also substantiate its answer, but it's a discussion aspect. You have to write the both aspects. So the second part, which is implicit in this case, that is nurture, is missing. So aspirant think I read the good answer, but basically it is lacking the second part, which is nurture. So the both sides of the coins of this questions is not well addressed. So please read questions carefully, understand them, then write. Don't be in a hurry. Yeah, it's true that you have to be fast, you have to be quick, but this quickness, this fast writing skill should be gained via practice, not by hasty reading. Next one is objectivity. We are not able to retain apt definitions. We don't write them properly in our notes. So we keep on beating around the bush. When there's a question on intrinsic motivation, we just write 2 3 lines regarding motivation very in a very layman terms. We don't use the keywords of a particular theory. We forget to write the psychological jargon like phenomenological approach, bystander apathy. These are the keywords to be mentioned in the answers. We forget to mention the researcher's name, the, ex- the empirical evidence is in the form of researches. When we write, for example, the definition of attitude, we should write the name of news prompt. We give the definition, but no, we just give a definition which is more suited for ethics paper, not for psychology paper. Moving further with the example, like question is why do teaching learning process in India classroom tend to be teacher centered? So here simply I just focus here. The reason mentioned is curriculum framework, annually spread syllabus, pressure on teacher, focus on rote learning, grading. It seems like a GS answer. We have to relate it with our psychological theories given by Piaget, like cognitive constructivism, Vygotsky's social constructivism, Bruner's theory. So these are the various aspects where our objectivity takes a toll. Another example in the nature nurture debate is relevant for the language acquisition comment on that. So here we simply start writing language acquisition is a significant stage, then two theories. But here, if we are talking about language acquisition, you can start with the definition of language, and you because language is a significant chapter, easy chapter. So we should be very precise and concise in making notes. We should have proper definition of language and what is language acquisition. We should know. So please make your notes in a proper formats, have proper definitions, have proper researchers' names in that. So when you revise them again and again, they become more or less पत्थर की लकीर in your memory. इसके बाद चलते हैं substantiation पे कि we write very generic points without mentioning facts, figures, researches, and real life examples. This is a favorite word of UPSC in psychology paper because we have to connect our psychology knowledge to real life situations. What's happening around us, we should have a psychological perspective for that, right? Like nowadays in COVID era, how media is responding to that. There is a simple word for this: misinfodemics. Lot of rumors, wrong facts are circulated on WhatsApp University. So this is a psychological perspective for what is happening in the communication world. So the reason behind is non-connectivity of subject matter because we keep just read a passive reading can't get you anything. So please make sure that you think after reading. Whenever, for example, whenever you read memory, there is a Ebbinghaus curve. Forgetting curve is there. They say कि maximum forgetting happens in half an hour. So आप जब चीजें पढ़ते हो तो आधे घंटे के बाद उसको रिवाइज कर लो. Because you know that maximum forgetting happens after half an hour. So just implement them. There's a jigsaw puzzle example how to bring down the intergroup hostility. To read them, search for examples online. ऐसा कोई field study हुई है in case of India. So again, I just repeat the previous example because that was quite generic. These key theories are not mentioned, which makes this a GS answer. I mentioned while checking it. Bruner's discovery learning can also be mentioned for user settings. Vygotsky scaffolding is there. Accommodation, assimilation of Piaget. Goal setting, smart training can also be. Pitch theory for skill learning can be mentioned. So various aspects can be mentioned for the curriculum design, teacher taught relationship, etc. So these all are missing. So you can't get good marks because of these generic points and generic answers. The next one is the structural crisis. इस दुनिया की हर सुंदर वस्तु का एक golden ratio बताया गया है. We everybody know that. But as per my understanding, the golden ratio in any answer has an intro body conclusion ratio. Simple, it's very simple. There's an intro, there is a body, there is a conclusion. There are some requirements of introduction. There is a way to present body, and there is a way to simply end your answer. Before some time back, people used to say there is no need to do such type of structuring in optional. But I beg to differ because the previously 4 5 years back there are 30 markers, even 60 markers were also there. But now they're asking 10 markers, 15 markers, 20 markers. So the length of the answers are limited to 2 3 pages or 4 pages at max. So your presentation of answer should be well structured. लिखते ही दिखना चाहिए यार हाँ इस बंदे ने ये बात यहाँ कही है, ये बात यहाँ कही, ये बात कही है. इससे इवेलुएटर का काम आसान होता है. And take my word, while checking copies and even while writing also, I make sure कि जो विजिबल होगा चीजें वही जल्दी से जल्दी चेक होंगी और वो सामने वाले को हेडक नहीं होगा. मगर आपकी अकेले की कॉपी चेक नहीं होने वाली हो. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ कॉपी. तो कुछ हटके सामने आएगा, इट फेच यू गुड मार्क्स. So proper structuring is always appreciated. Why we don't do that? Lack of practice, and we don't focus on that. Yeah, this is a GS phenomena, and which should not be followed or practiced here. Like, for example, the humanistic school of psychology, often called as a third force of psychology, comment. So here, the more or less the aspirant wrote the content in a fine manner, but the argument was third force. Why it's a third force? So we need to write assertions like third force humanism because it considered humans as active individuals, not determined by environment and its surroundings. Self-actualization is a new goal to achieve Maslow's law of hierarchy. Free will, like psychic determinism. Psychic is not by instinct, but by the will of the man. There is some cross-cultural understanding is that. So these are 4 5 arguments. We should make these headings, which should be clearly visible. जो दिखते ही लगे हाँ यार ये इसने 4 5 बातें रखी हैं गुड और और कंक्लूजन में हम we can relate it with current like in COVID-19 the positive psychology again gain momentum because in these pessimistic times positive psychology boost our brain prevent the mental health disorders. So this is the contribution of humanism. And the last and one of the most confused ones is the presentation. कहाँ पर पॉइंट्स लिखें, कहाँ पैराग्राफ में शुरुआत करें, फ्लो चार्ट बनाने हैं नहीं बनाने हैं, कौन सा डायग्राम कहाँ बनेगा. So these kind of confusion persist across the students, across the aspirants, even in GS, even in psychology. Like in my case, I used to draw a lot of flow charts. Later, I realized I should minimize them or I should limit them up to certain areas of the syllabus. So we here I just suggest follow the Buddha's middle path. Do not overdo anything. कहीं पर पैराग्राफ, कहीं पर पॉइंट्स, कहीं पर फ्लो चार्ट्स और जहाँ डायग्राम सुटेबल हो. Just we need while making notes or while reading we need to ascertain किस टाइप के कंटेंट में किस टाइप का प्रेजेंटेशन सुटेबल है. Like when we talk about the language acquisition, so here we can draw the diagram of language LAD of Noam Chomsky. So this is the diagram we can draw. If we draw, we get +1 definitely. So by this, we can score better. So in the end, I just sum up that please see this video, make good notes, revise them again and again, and start answer writing for the at least next 45 days. I will also come up with a course for 6 weeks of answer writing at the Circle of Psychology and in collaboration of UPSC Akhada. Please download please subscribe to that channel on YouTube. And in the end, I just say the more you sweat in practice, less you bleed in the battle. So this is the time to realize this thought and keep on writing on daily basis for essay, for GS, for optional. So that at least next 45 days, daily write 5 to 10 answer of the psychology optional to get good and great score. Okay दोस्तों, बाय, स्वस्थ रहें, मस्त रहें, थैंक यू.